If you ain't ready to see processed meat and processing of farm animals, this is not the video for you. But if you're looking to have a final result of a pile of meat to feed your family with, I'm going to try and keep this as educational, as instructional, and as honorable to the animal as I can. Well, guys, it's time. Well, I've had plenty of people ask for it. I'm finally going to make a rabbit processing video. If that is not your cup of tea, if that's not something that you want to learn about, which for my lifestyle is being as self-sufficient as possible, being able to provide meat and farmed goods for my family and my friends and the people around me, if that's not a lifestyle you're interested in and you're not willing to see all this terrible stuff that seems to be in the media about my style of living, which I've always just known as life, it's how I grew up, is you grow everything you can and you buy as little as you possibly can. It's just the way I live, and it's not for everyone, but here we are, and I raise animals to provide for my family, and it's time for these guys to go to freezer camp. That might not be your cup of tea. You might want to click off of this video, because all these little guys, along with the tractor over to my left, 18 in total, it's their day to get processed. And we move on, we breed the next generation, and we feed ourselves. Here we go. All right, so I'm getting my butcher station set up. So, order operation, tools I'm gonna need. I have an old shovel handle because for those of you that don't know, obviously you have to dispatch the animal. Now there's a lot of methods. The one I use in particular is what's referred to as the broomstick method. And that is where you would take any old chunk of wood, lay it across the animal's neck, right behind the base of the skull, step on it with your feet on either side, grab legs and pull. Cervical dislocation, instantaneous death. Then we get to deal with the nerves and go from there. So I keep a honing rod on hand. I run a Kimura knives. These things are really good, dirt cheap. I have a box of gloves, keep everything sterile. I have a bowl. This will get filled with water. This is for what my English friends would call the offal. I keep livers, hearts, and kidneys. Those will all go in here, submerged in water. I have a cooler on hand, already filled with ice. They'll go straight onto the ice and they'll age for 24 hours to let the meat relax. Then I have garden hose on hand and a gut bucket. I have the crane on the back of one of my trucks. I've used an old horseshoe, a China horseshoe throwing set, and some paracord to make a gambrel. And this is where the work is going to get done. And these are the tools that I use. Very basic, doesn't take a lot. It all adds up when you got 18 of them to do, but this is the basic setup that really all you're going to require. So the process we're going to go through: cervical dislocation, instantaneous death. We're going to immediately hang them up, and then we're going to remove the head. That allows the animal to bleed out. Then we'll go into skinning and gutting. Okay, so we pick him up by the hind quarters. That way when he kicks, it doesn't tear up the gloves, because you'll go through a lot of gloves. What we're going to do, we're going to take our shovel handle, we're going to place it right here at the back of the skull. I'll step on the stick on either side, grab the hind legs, and pull. Cervical dislocation, instantaneous death. Okay, cervically dislocated, the animal is dead. All you're going to see from this point on is the nerves moving. So, I'm going to hang it up on the gambrel. 1 foot in each loop. And all that's going to do is keep the legs spread a little bit, so I've got room to work. First thing we're going to do very quickly is remove the head at the base of the skull. That's going to bleed him out. you'll see me constantly rinsing my hands and my knife the whole time, trying to keep that fur off of the meat. Okay, so we're in the nerves right now. I'm gonna take the garden hose, put it in the neck, flush it out. This is going to prevent a lot of meat sitting in this area, and it'll end up looking like bloodshot. So, hang up my hose, make sure I've got no fur on my knife. Okay, now we got them, hang them up. We've got a little bit of separation. We've got the front end rinsed out. We're gonna look right here at the base of the ankle and the foot, and this is the joint. This is what we call the hock right here. We're gonna separate the hide just below the hock. While doing it, we're gonna start on the front, and we're gonna make sure right here there's a very small tendon. We're gonna make sure to not separate that tendon, because if we do, the meat will try to ball up on the hide. So I'm just gonna ring all the way around that foot, and then we'll start separating the hide down. We'll do that on both legs. And I'm pulling down on the hide right here the whole time, which causes the cut to open up so that I can see it. Ring around that foot, very gentle on the back half. Make sure that we don't cut that tendon right there. I actually nicked it, you can see. So once we have it separated around, I'm gonna rinse off my knife. Always worrying about the quality of your meat starts right now. So keeping that hide and that fur off of the meat. So I'm gonna pull down just a little bit. I'm gonna just get the tip of my knife in here and ever so slightly start to open up that hide. Now I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna face it away from the meat, and I'm gonna do my best to not be cutting into the meat, and I'm going to separate this hide and split it right there. Sometimes it takes a couple swipes. This rabbit is a little bit older, so it has a little bit better quality leather on it, so it takes a little more to cut. We'll bring it right down there, just past the hip. Now I'm gonna rinse my knife again, always keeping that fur off the meat whenever possible. Now I'm gonna pull back on the skin right here so we can see this membrane separation between the meat. Give that a little nick. Come over to the other side. Same thing, little nick. Now you can see we're opened up on both sides of that leg. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the knife down. Now I'm gonna come in here with my fingers. I'm just gonna push, and it will separate that hide right up to the belly. We're gonna do the same thing on the back. We're just kind of pulling the meat away from the hide using the pressure of our finger. And right there, you can see it's wrapped all the way around. So now I'm gonna pull up, and we're gonna separate that hide off of the hock. Now we'll go through and give this a rinse, get the fur off of it. Give the knife a quick tune-up. Now we're gonna repeat the process on the other leg. Once again, just below the hock. Bring it around, watching for that tendon. There's the tendon, we've got it exposed. Wipe the fur off the knife. Same thing, put the knife down inside that leg. Start moving that hide along. Tip of my blade is a little bit dull for this. This is where some people would use an opening cut knife, is what it's called. I don't like using multiple knives if I can avoid it, because that means more dishes. So now we've got it pulled back. Do the same thing, a little cut, just to get it moving. Pulling on the hide, always cutting towards the hide, never towards the meat. Get it opened up just a little bit. rinse the fur off the knife. Same thing. Take our thumbs and pull, separate the hide from the meat. You're always trying to pull the fur away. Push it in, get that hide separated once again, and we'll pop it off of the leg. I'm gonna rinse my hands. Now right here, we can use our hands, and we're gonna push down and in towards the belly, just pushing. We're gonna repeat on this side. When you can see your finger, that means you've got just the membrane. Now, grab my knife, put my finger in there where I can see it, and I know that this is the membrane. Pop through. Now, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna push back a little bit. It's gonna give me room to get my whole hand in here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the hide right here at the base of the vent. We got a bee following us around. So we're gonna go right here at the base of the vent. And what we're gonna try to do is not touch either leg with the knife edge. We're just gonna give it a clean cut, just like that, right through. Rinse the knife, rinse our hands. Okay, now base of the back. So now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna stick our hands in behind and separate that hide off the rabbit. Just pushing, using our thumbs. Same thing from the other side. You can see it'll pop right through. Now we're going to attempt to take the tail all the way up here from underneath. So we're gonna face the knife where we want it to go, making sure that we're not touching those hams. And we're gonna separate, just like that. Now we're ready for a full rinse on the rabbit. We're gonna get any fur on the meat. If you spot any, grab it with your gloves if it doesn't want to rinse off. Okay, now we're gonna grab the belly side of the hide and the back side of the hide. Just gonna pull. Nice gentle pressure. Separate all the way down to the front legs. Now, right here is the joint. I need to peel this one just a little bit further. There's the joint. We're gonna get that joint on both sides exposed. Right there. Grab our knife. We're gonna ring around it. What we're looking to do, you can see these tendons right here. I'm trying to sever those external tendons. Once you do that, turn it 90 degrees to the way it normally bends. Sometimes both directions. The joint's now separated. Put our knife in between, and it slides right apart. Once again, we're gonna ring it all the way around, separate the tendons, give it a pop, and separate. Into the gut bucket it goes. You're a terrible cameraman, just so you know.
I'm not quitting my day job.
We're gonna start getting the guts out. So what you need to be careful of when you're gutting a rabbit, and this is one of the reasons that I prefer to hang them upside down from a gambrel, is you've got all of the guts sitting up here in the rib cage. But still back here, you have the hind end digestion, and there is still pellets of poo in there. Also, the piss sac is about right there. So we need to make sure that we don't cut into the piss sac and contaminate the meat. So what I do is I grab right here on the edge, and I'm gonna pull out away. I'm gonna give it a very small cut, just to open it up. Now I can take and put my knife inside, keeping the tip of the knife as close to the surface as possible to get the separation and get it open. All right, now I've got it open. I'm gonna stick 2 fingers inside, like so. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my fingers apart. Number 1, this is gonna give me knife room right here. Number 2, it's gonna push the guts back. And I'm gonna follow this seam right here. Just like so. If you can do it in one cut, it'll be a lot smoother. Now, you can see right there is the piss sac. So what we're gonna do right now immediately is come up here to the top where there is no urine. And we're gonna cut that out. In the gut bucket it goes. Get that out of the equation. Now we're gonna continue. Stomach cut. It's totally normal to see a little bit of liquid come out of there. You didn't do anything wrong, that's normal. Now, right here, you can see all the pellets. We're gonna softly push them apart so that there's a window where we can cut that off, just like that. Now I'm gonna reach in, I'm gonna grab these 2 kidneys that are up along the back straps. I'm gonna remove those kidneys. Those are gonna go over here in our wash bucket. Keep them in cold water. Now I'm gonna reach underneath and I'm gonna grab the main portion of the stomach, pull it out. The liver will try to come with it. A slight pinch right here and just a little bit of pulling will free all of this up. Okay, now we have the liver right here at the back next to the diaphragm. We've got the stomach and all the rest of the guts. And I'm going to very gently pull back until I see the separation of the gut and the liver right there. And then I'm just going to pinch and gently pull. And there's the whole gut sac in the gut bucket. Now we've got the liver. I'm gonna reach in, scoop it with my hand, and pull up to separate it. Now, before you throw this into your water bowl, you need to remove the gallbladder right here. On a rabbit, it's remarkably tough. Now, you can do this a couple different ways because I'm wearing gloves. I don't have access to my fingernails. So what I do is run the knife just underneath the vein and just pull up like so to get it loose from the liver so that I can grab a hold of it through the gloves. We're just going to gently pull, and there's the gallbladder in the gut bucket. And now we have a nice clean liver. You can always judge the health of your rabbit by how clean the liver is. If you see white spots, you got some issues that you need to look at in your herd, but that's not part of this video. This is a nice clean liver. Into the bucket it goes. Now, I'm gonna do a quick rinse. You can see I'm constantly rinsing, trying to keep that from happening. Because as soon as the hide starts, or the skin starts drying, that skin will stick to it. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come up here and we're going to split the pelvis. Now the way that I do this is not what most people do. I come on either side and I'm going to just give it a little cut on the side of the H bone to make that leg start to peel away. I do the same thing on this side, just a little cut. You can see this is so fresh, the nerves are still going. Now what I'm gonna do, that the hips are a little bit separated, I'm gonna come underneath with my knife, just underneath the hip bone, and I'm gonna slice through it. We're gonna do that on both sides. Yes, it is completely normal to be able to see a pellet, a turd sitting there. It's not gonna hurt anything at this time. You're gonna rinse that off immediately anyways. Now I'm gonna pull the hip open. I'm gonna take the tip of my knife and I'm going to circle around the hip bone on both sides. Just like that. Now from that point, do not be alarmed if a pellet comes out right now. We're gonna grab the intestinal tract, we're gonna pull out, and there it is. Before we keep going, because we were just working around the poop, we're gonna go for a full rinse. Now you can see, look right inside the hip bone. Everything is completely cleaned out. We're good to go there. Touch up my knife a little bit. No, I'm not a professional butcher. I just LARP as one. Now, right here we have the diaphragm that separates the area of the lungs and the heart and the windpipe from the rest of the guts. I'm gonna grab the top of it right here and slice through. And I'm going to circle that diaphragm around the rib cage both sides till it comes right here to the front. I'm going to separate that off. Now I can reach underneath, grab the lungs, scoop them up in my hand. I'm going to grab that and the diaphragm and pull. So now we have lungs and diaphragm in the gut bucket. Last thing we have all the way up at the front, we're going to reach down and pull up, is the heart. And I usually will trim off the vents right now, just like so. Vent goes in the gut bucket, Phil will get off my knife, and the heart will go in the water bucket. Go for another rinse. We're going to give the body cavity a little bit of rinse because there is a little bit of blood up here by the heart, just like so. Now the last thing I'm going to do, you can see I got water in it right now. I am going to split the sternum all the way up so that I can verify that I got the windpipe out. Same thing, I put my fingers in to hold everything open, stick my knife right down, and cut. Now we're separated. You can see you even had a poo pellet in there, because that happens once in a while. I'm going to stick the knife right up through the neck and finish out the cut. Verify that I have the windpipe out of it. At this point we have a clean rabbit. The last thing we have to do is separate off the feet. Now at this point, what you can do, because of the way we skinned it right at the base of the hock, grab the foot, you're going to twist it 90 degrees. That will pop the joint out, and then you can cut that tendon that we very carefully didn't cut earlier. Same thing on this side. Pop it 90 degrees to the way it travels, and snip. Now we have a clean rabbit. We're going to give it one final rinse. Give it a little bit of a shake. And into the cooler on ice. The heart is still attempting to pump. Now this might have been a 20-minute video, guys, but this is how quickly you can process these rabbits. I'm doing a couple time lapses right now. I'm averaging about 5 minutes a piece. This is a quick, simple process. Well, guys, I hope you got something out of that. I tried to structure this in a way that it would be instructional, educational, that somebody that doesn't know how to process their own game could take this video and provide food for their family. Because in the end, that's all I'm doing, is I'm making food. I just choose to grow it myself. I want it to be as clean as possible. I don't want any extra crap in it. And having that under my control is the best way that I can think to do it. And for the limited amount of room I got, rabbits and quail, they're my go-to. They take up very little space. You can produce a ton of meat off of them. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something from it. I've still got a dozen more to go. So thanks for watching, guys.